Hello, this is Jerry from Quilt Crazy. This video is to explain the use of the link function in QBot V3 Pro. When to use it, when not to use it, how and why. First, the why. The link command in V3 Pro Designer allows you to collect two or more designs into a single design. You can then save that connected design and use it like any other design in Designer or in pattern quilting. There doesn't seem to be a limit to how many designs you can link together. Once the design is linked, it can be manipulated just like any other design. You can size it, rotate it, stretch it, etc. Although once linked and saved, you cannot unlink the individual elements or manipulate one portion of the element in the design. You can only unlink and change the link type until you save the new created design. One thing to keep in mind is the order you select the designs to link. The link command will connect the designs in the order that you selected them, regardless of how you place them on the screen. So select them in the order that they will be when completed. Select them from left to right. Then on the screen you can move the designs to the proper place. If, for instance, you were to take and select designs 1, 2, and 3, and then move the third design in between the first and second one, the link will still go from the first design to the second design, and you'll have a line going across the third design and then from the second design back to the third design again. So it'll really make it unusable. There are three types of links: straight line, curved line, and automatic snap. You do not have to link designs in QBot. If you do not, then QBot will do a jump stitch. QBot will pause after the first design so you can tie off. Then you select continue. The head will move to the start of the second design and will pause. It lets you time to pull the bobbin thread up. When you select go, the next design will be stitched and the process will start over again until completed. All right, now for the third of the three sets, the curved line link. This link is it works. It's somewhat limited in what it can do, but in certain circumstances it works quite well. So what we're going to do is we go to Designer again and design on the quilt. And of course, all of the things that I just did, we could do off the quilt. In fact, actually, when you're building multiple element designs, I find it easier for myself to sit down on a couch or on a chair or on a table and do it off the quilt. That way I can build my designs ahead of time. All you need to know is the size of the quilting area that you would be using. So that's going to be how much of your usable throat distance you have. You know, if it's a 18/8, you're probably going to have around 14 inches of quilt area. I use a 26-inch Innova, so it has about 22 inches of quilting area. A 30-inch machine has about 24, 25, maybe even 26 inches of throat area, and then the width of the quilt that you're going to be doing. But you can do that, create the design, save them, and then get up and actually start quilting them down. So from that point, you can just use the pattern quilting, and everything works pretty easy. So we're going to show you an example of the curved line linking and how it works. So what we're going to do here is, as usual, we'll mark out our quilting area. And of course, this quilting area really has absolutely nothing to do with where QBot is going to quilt. It will quilt off the left top, left or right bottom, all of that. I've unfortunately on occasions had an edge to edge, and I was doing a trim, and somehow I forgot to press the trim button. So when I told it to move out of the left, it ran out of room and the head just moved all the way to the end until it couldn't move anymore and started spinning the wire on the motor. It didn't hurt anything, but it messed up where the quilt was supposed to be, so I had to start over again. But the point is, this area is only to allow QBot to figure out how much screen space to use. So click Done. On some of the things, the quilting area, for instance, in line quilting, that outside area is important. On pattern quilting and Designer, It's not important other than doing trim and how much screen space to use. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to select a same design that we used in one of the other videos, and in this case I'm going to do 3 of them. All right, and if we look down here we can see that we have 3 of them done. We're going to say done, and I'm going to change them all to their correct size, which is 100%. And we'll move them down to their approximate areas. Well, actually, when I marked this out, I didn't mark out quite enough space, but that's right, you'll get the idea here. So we'll go with that one. And, oops, must not have got there. We didn't get 100% on that one. That's why it didn't work. That's better. All right, let's pick our spot here, 100%. We'll move our second one to where we want it. And our third one to where we want that, down a little bit. All right, so these are the 3 elements that we're going to use, and we're going to save this so we can use it as we go all the way down the quilt. This is the same thing we did in the last video, but this one we're going to actually link them together instead of have it jump stitch from the second to the third row. Now, because currently everything starts on the left and ends on the right, all 3 rows, if we were to do a link the way it is, we would have a link from the far right hand side to the beginning of the second row on the left hand side. Same thing on the third side. So what we're going to do to fix that is we're going to click the second row, and we're going to reverse the path so that the first row goes left to right, second row goes right to left, third row goes left to right again. We'll select done, and we're going to select curved line this time. Now we've got some new things that come up. If you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the second element has a link multi-row and has a little yellow box with a curved line in it. And the third one also has one. It's grayed out at the moment because at the moment we're going to select the second one. You notice that there's a bunch of new colors of dots on here. At the beginning, at the end of the first row, there's a purple one. At the beginning of the second row, there's a green one. If we double click on either of those, we get yet more dots. And what we get is a red dot with 2 boxes around it, and 2 green dots with green circles around them. The one with the red box is the center of the curved line, and if we move that around, you can see what happens. The other lines kind of catch up with it. The green dots are the position of the curve and the length of the curve. The further apart we make them, the longer that line is. The closer we put them together, the more straight it is. So if we take and shorten them up a little bit, move this out here some, I can move this down, and we've now created a round link from the end of the first row to the beginning of the second row. So now we can select the next one. We have more dots again. We double click on it. We got the same thing. We can move this over here, move these dots, these green dots a little closer to each other. And on this one we can we'll make this a little fancier. But you see, you can't add extra spots to move it. You only have a center and each end how far you can move it. Once you've got what you're going to get, you select Curve Line Finish, and you can see that it's created a single design that starts in the top left, ends on the top right. It's linked the first to the second row in kind of a half circle that I made there, and it linked the second to the third row in kind of an S-shaped curve. So we now have a single design that if you quilted it, it's going to start on the top left and it's going to end after 3 rows all the way on the top bottom right. You can now save this and reuse that as you move the quilt forward. So that's the use of the curved design. It works. In certain instances, it's quite nice, but it is somewhat limiting as to how much control you have over how it does the linking. So I hope these are useful to you. That covers all 3 of the different kinds of links. And if you have any questions, send me an email. It's quilt@quiltcrazy.biz. That's B-I-Z. I'll be happy to answer it, or if you have specific questions, you can send me your phone number and I'll be happy to give you a call. Again, this is Jerry from Quilt Crazy. I hope this was useful to you. If you liked it, please click on the like and subscribe to my channel. You'll get some more. I'm going to do another video yet here in a couple days. All right, thanks, folks.